is in a 7-Eleven, people would just come in, grab a 6-pack of beer and potato chips, and anyone with 2 brain cells can wring them out. But in a individual private retail store, what a lot of people are looking for is information. And I realized that the more I learned about nutrition, the more I made. And so I started studying nutrition, and you guys realize there's probably 250,000 studies that relate antioxidants to improved health in the body. And we carried, I think, maybe 4,500 different products and 13 lines of vitamins. And we were also in Florida, so you get really busy January through May. That's when the snowbirds are down. That's when you make your real money. And in February of 2005, Steve Weaver, stand up, Steve, real quick. Thank you, Steve, for bringing me into business. He can thank me, where's the $1 million earner pin? I think I had something to do with that.
I said thank you.
And just not loud enough, Steve.
Thank you, John, man. You've changed my life, I'll tell you.
So, I wanted you guys to see the real Steve Weaver so you can imagine this presentation he does to me later. So Steve drags in his scanner case, this OS1 scanner, and says, hey man, you gotta take a look at this nutritional testing program. And I said, buddy, I'm busy. I have 20 customers in the store, getting ready to can one of my employees, things going crazy. I said, I just don't have time, you just have to come back some other day. So Steve, being a persistent sales guy, goes over to my wife and snuggles up to her. She's a kinder, gentler person than I am. And she comes over and sticks her little finger in my face and says, John, he's a really nice guy. Give him 10 minutes of your time. So now I'm already upset with Steve. So I did one of these. Buddy, you got 10 minutes, folded my arms and sat down. Now you got to imagine my nutrition store. It's a big store, about 2,500 square feet, and we had labeled sections like weight loss, minerals, bone density, sports nutrition, and I had this section, literally with 4-inch letters that said antioxidants. So Steve, in his brilliance, starts his presentation with, John, there are these things called antioxidants. And I'm like, buddy, you only got a few minutes or I'm really going to throw you out of here. But he pulled out that scanner, and that scanner intrigued me. And so I'm a little bit intrigued by the scanner. And did you see the spreadsheet that Michelle just put up? Pulled up that spreadsheet. Well, I'm an old MBA student, ran a couple of businesses, and I've seen false assumptions put in spreadsheets before. So I'm just going to go in this guy's spreadsheet and show him where the BS is. And I'm looking at that spreadsheet going, I think you can make some money with this scanner. Now Steve's got 5 minutes, so he's talking really fast. I had to shut up a minute. And look at the spreadsheet, and I switched gears and joined Nu Skin. Now my original plan, I'd like to tell you that I was so brilliant that I just had this vision that someday, if you talk to Camille Bauer, I think 1/3 of the scanners in the United States are now mine organization. I'm in 31 countries. We've got scanners all over the world. I have, I think, 43 dentists in my organization, hundreds of doctors, chiropractors, and we have placed a lot of scanners. But I didn't see that then. I just thought, I want this little scanner in my practice. I'm going to scan people, put them on product, and make a few bucks on the scanning fees. I mean, that's kind of cool, you know? We used to charge $10 for a scan and take my wife for dinner and pay for lunch and paying $10 bills. It was kind of neat. So I finally recruited a guy by the name of Jonathan Hillberry, and we fly out to Nu Skin. Am I scared of you? Don't get nervous. We fly out to Nu Skin, and we're sitting here going through some training that's not nearly as professional as what you guys have seen over the last couple of days. But here's what we got. There was real science behind this company. If they had spent, at that time, about $150 million on that scanner, they had clinical trials. I went through their quality control labs. I knew enough about nutrition to know that they had really good nutritional products. And on the way home on a plane, me and my buddy pulled up a laptop and started just crunching some numbers. And we said, hey, we can make some money with this. Really, at the end of the day, the person with the most scanners wins, right? So the more scanners you make, the more money you make. That's a whole comp plan in a nutshell. So we started to go out and present to doctors. And I did some really lousy presentations in the beginning. I was just excited about the scanner. I knew a lot about nutrition. We had long, lengthy discussions on nutrition. And I was trying to also duplicate myself and teach other people how to play scanners. So I came up with this idea that I would write down all the dumb questions I got from doctors and someday publish like a book. You know, the 100 stupid things doctors ask you, or the top 25 questions that doctors ask you. And I'm taking these notes, and I realized that there was only 3 questions. And when I discovered that, I started to share that with people. We actually started changing the presentation. I realized they said, well, how does this thing work? Or what's this Raman spectroscopy? What they were really asking is that scanner legitimate science? And then they would start to, you know, ask you whether it was methyl or cobalamin B12 in the product or something. They're really asking you, is that a good nutritional product? And then the big question is, can I make money? So if you want to play scanners, I remember we had a little backlog of S1 scanners. Remember once we started this, you'd have to wait like 6 weeks. So we'd had at least me and Jonathan at least like 3 scanners, and we were hopscotching them from a doctor. You can have yours on Monday, you can have one on Tuesday, you can have one on Wednesday until we can get you a scanner. I kept calling up the company, said, hey, I need scanners. And finally Kevin Crandall at the time said, John, could you just consolidate all your requests? And I said, yeah, I'll put them on a spreadsheet, I'll prioritize them, I'll send them to you. I was waiting on 47 scanners. The company got 45 in, they sent all 45 of them to us. We were serious about placing scanners. But we learned to make that presentation far more efficient. I was doing the right thing, making presentations, but they weren't very good presentations. So here's what we learned to do. Let's go into a doctor and get those 3 questions answered. Right up front, early on in the conversation, I'm going to say, doctor, this little piece of technology, I'm going to pull that scanner out. I'm going to say, this little piece of technology you're looking at, you guys can write this down. Our company has invested over $200 million in this piece of technology. We have 6 clinicals that scientifically validate that that is an accurate measurement of your antioxidant status. Question 1, ask and answer. I'm done. Now he can ask me more questions about the scanner, but if he didn't hear $200 million in 6 clinicals, shame on him. And then to further shut down the conversation, I'll say, Doc, I can send those clinicals over. If you're the kind of person that likes all the details, I can send you our website and you can pull down all those clinicals and read them. And then I'm going to scan him. I'm going to put his hand in the scanner. I said, I want you to see how easy this is. And then sometimes I use a line like this. Doctor, it's going to be a little bit of a schizophrenic presentation. Because here's what I know. I know that you care about your patients. I know that you, in your heart, know that fruit and vegetable consumption is important, that nutrition is important. I know that you realize that. And I know you want to help your patients. So if I can show you how to help your patients, we'll do that on kind of the doctor side of your brain. And then I'm going to shift gears and I'm going to talk to you like a business person, because you pay rent, you have staff to pay, insurance, etc., and at the end of the day, you need to pay the mortgage and someday plan for your retirement, right? So is that fair enough that we have both conversations? So I'm going to put his hand in the scanner and we'll scan him. I've already told him the scanner's legitimate. And here's what I'm going to tell him. We have great nutritional therapies. there a problem